Hey everyone, you're listening to Goddamn Gamecube, a podcast where we discuss video game franchises and video game industry topics that we're passionate about. This is the final episode of the Fire Emblem retrospective.
Okay, this episode we're going to talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I just want to start by saying you and me both agree, holy shit, am I glad this game turned out to be good.
Yeah, my opening thought before you chose to lead it was, this is the first game in the franchise where I thought this game was going to be bad.
Me too.
It's so interesting how, maybe you and I were pumped for Fates and we didn't like it.
Right.
And how we were pumped for Shadow Dragon, didn't like it. But this game, you and I were talking over the course of maybe the past year and a half, and we're like, dude, you need to be prepared because this game might suck.
I gotta talk about the troubled life cycle of this game, and that's why I think led to some of the trepidation. So this game, it was never announced. This game had a troubled development. It was announced back in January 2017 to say it was releasing in 2018.
It got pushed back by about a year.
It did not release in 2018, and they never formally delayed it.
Eek.
They never gave any news about this game.
Yeah.
Nintendo kind of dicked us around a little bit with the release date of this game. They, up until E3, we heard nothing. There was no trailer after the initial one. It was not good, and the fans were starting to get a little antsy, like, hey, what's going on with this game? Is it canceled? Is it delayed? What's going on here? I think this game actually suffered from a lot of delays and a lot of cut content, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's a lot cut from this game. I would go back and watch some of the first trailers we got and see how different the game is from what those trailers were.
What I was going to say is adding on to what you're saying.
Yeah.
This game, we were very worried when it was, because a couple of reasons.
Yep.
They were really emphasizing social elements. There's a lot. Persona 5 was a huge game that came out during this game's development. Well, it maybe came out right before. It was 2016 when Persona 5 came out.
It was probably being developed at the time.
It was being developed.
Yeah.
And it was a huge game. And I feel like Fire Emblem took a lot of cues from that franchise. And Nick and I were very worried that it was taking the wrong cues.
Yeah.
And Nick was saying cut content. My overall opinion of this game is it's a pretty full game.
Yeah.
But what I don't like, I'm going to make a joke here. I liked this game.
Yeah.
It's full of things I don't like. Which is...
Fair.
Let's talk about cut content.
Okay.
To me, it feels like maybe the troubled development cycle of this game was, we're not sure what kind of game this is.
I totally agree.
Because that's what the game feels like.
Yep.
Where, is this a social game where you talk to all your compatriots and your students? Is this a strategy game? You don't fight that much. I think the end product, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, this game was very engaging. I liked it.
Yep.
But it felt like they're not really sure what the direction of the franchise should be, which to me is worrying.
Yeah, I agree. Because like I said about the trailers of this game, the very first trailer we got was a story trailer.
Yes.
It showed some things, and in the gameplay that it showed, it hinted at the teaching aspect. But if you remember, it shows Edelgard, one of the main characters in this game, talking to your main character.
Yeah.
And she says, we've got a mock battle coming up. Shall I train my skills? And you have two options. Shall I train axe skills or sword skills?
Okay.
So this game took a totally different direction from just being able to maybe one-on-one teach them in a couple of things to, you're a full-blown professor now, deal with it.
Yeah, it's so hard for us to speculate on what they were discussing behind closed doors. I will say this game is, what's the word for this? The presentation of this game is good.
Yeah.
Where it's very endearing, very wholesome. You're literally in a classroom. You're in these lectures and your students are gaining EXP and different weapon skills and stuff. But what I didn't like about this game really, I would say right off the bat, was like, wait a minute, they are replacing combat segments with nothing.
Right.
With nothing, as in I'm literally clicking a button and my students are getting experience points. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's an interesting aspect of the game, and I think in universe it did work.
Yeah, it worked.
It did work. I didn't hate it. I didn't think I would like it.
Me either.
I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
I feel like that's really a theme of this game.
Yeah.
I liked it more than I thought I would.
Right. I think Fates really soured me on this series as a whole because I bought the limited edition for Fates. I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought the new 3DS and I didn't like the game. And it made me say, I'm not buying the special edition of Three Houses. And now I'm like, man, I wish I bought the special edition of Three Houses and not the special edition of Fates.
Yeah, and it's really weird to say that because you and I are big believers of this franchise. Yeah. I think what happened is you and I are we are not anime guys.
No.
We're not these, we don't like this social aspect. Mm-hmm. I loved Persona 5.
Yep.
I was like, I don't want Persona 5 to be this game. I don't want it.
Yeah, I think what you said, this game is a case of they didn't know the identity. It's not Persona 5. I think
I'm alleging that.
Right. I think you're right because Persona 5 works because it went all in. This game is a social game. Yeah, there's some combat and stuff but this is a social game. What is Three Houses? Is it a social game or is it a strategy game?
Yeah, and you know what it is? Yeah, some people were arguing, oh no, they did it to really emphasize the story and the characters, which are really not. Here's the thing.
Yep.
Okay, if they did the social thing to emphasize characters and story, it didn't work because I don't think this game has the best story or characters in the franchise, and it's a point they tried to reinforce with this game, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, I really like the story and I really like the characters.
I shouldn't say they're bad. Yeah. Right, they're not bad.
But I think Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn are far better stories.
And it wasn't a story-based game.
Right, exactly. It's just, I think they tried to be Radiant Dawn with this game to try and make it as big. This is the biggest scale Fire Emblem game since Radiant Dawn. And I'll give them that. They did a good job with making it big in scale.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not as good character-wise. It's not as good plot-wise as those games. It's still pretty good. I'm actually going to say Three Houses is probably one of my favorite Fire Emblems of a long time. Granted, the competition wasn't great, but I think it is one of the better games recently. Because I think they added a lot of stuff to this game that I did like, and that they maybe had taken it away and brought it back for this game. Yeah.
It's another one of these games in this franchise where I think it's better than the sum of its parts.
Same.
Can I tell you why?
Yes.
The quests in this game are not good.
Oh, the
side quests are stupid.
Yeah, I forgot it existed.
Like, oh, you have to go catch fish in a pond. Why? I'm a fucking warrior professor, psycho. I can obliterate you with thunderbolts.
Why would I do this?
Yeah. It's just, here's the thing. The weak points of this game is that it feels too video gamey. Mm-hmm. Why am I doing these dumb side quests?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to do that.
No.
But it kind of contributes to, it's kind of a cute, endearing package of a game.
Yeah, I agree.
You like running around the campus. You like talking to the kids. You like it. And it's kind of, it has, it has that's the part of the production that has an appeal and feels, I don't want to say finished. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
Yeah.
Where, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go raise my students' what was the word they used for the smiley face meter? Morale, enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise their enthusiasm by giving them a piece of bread, and then hey, it has a gameplay consequence. When you go into class, they want to learn more.
Right.
But okay, it works. But the big thing for me in this game that here's what it is.
Yep.
I don't like it. It worked for this game. I don't want them to do it again. Mm-hmm. I don't like how combat has been replaced by doing nothing.
I agree. Because if you have the option to skip through all of the teaching sections and just do the chapters, I've never done that. I'm really curious how long the game is if you just do that.
It can't be long at all.
Probably not.
It's probably nothing.
Probably not.
And none of the chapters are hard.
No. So I want to jump into some of the features of this game here.
Yeah.
Like what made this game good, what made it unique. So this game did what Fates wanted to do and actually made it work.
Yeah.
The 3 paths.
Yes.
So in this game, for those who don't know, you choose a house that you want to lead.
Yeah.
The house
Harry
led
Potter.
Basically. Led by Edelgard, led by Dimitri, or led by Claude.
Yep.
And you don't have to buy 3 games to do it.
Yeah, it's
great.
all in one game.
What a concept.
You have to choose Harry, Ron,
or Hermione.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you choose a house, and then those are your students for the game.
Yeah.
I like that. I like branching paths. I think it really gives it some more replayability.
Yeah.
Which is great. And one thing I was really impressed with is how different all the paths were.
Yes.
I actually finished the 4th path this morning.
Yes. Okay.
So I finished every single path. I'm done with the game. And I was very impressed with how they differentiated them. When I beat the first one, I was like, so for everyone listening, I did the Golden Deer with Claude first.
Yeah.
So when I beat that one, I was like, okay, I'm going to go play the Blue Lions one with Dimitri next. I thought, okay, it's going to be the same story. I'm going to have some different characters. But
it's going to be kind of copied and pasted.
Right. It wasn't. I'm not saying the game is 100% different. but I'm like, whoa.
There's enough there where it's a different game.
Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff jam-packed in this game. My game time is like 200 hours now.
Yeah, so you got your money's worth out of this game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I'm really torn about, I really want your opinion here, is reclassing it's not reclassing in name in this game, but you can basically choose whatever class you want for every character in the game.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the villager aspect from
But
Echoes.
Everyone is that.
Everybody.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? This game, it's... Okay, ready?
Yep.
I think it's cool
Yeah.
that you can teach your students anything you want and you can make them into anything you want.
Yep.
But it's not viable and it takes too long.
Yeah.
And by the time you want to change and veer courses, you invested so much time into certain skills you shouldn't do it.
Right, exactly.
Example, like, there are some characters who are predisposed to by they're good horse riders or they're good at heavy armor. But everyone else isn't. So why would you do it?
Right, exactly.
And also, I gotta critique the game for this. When there are plenty of classes, I think there are enough. But what I didn't like about it was some of the final beast classes in this game are not as good as classes in an earlier tier.
Yeah, so
It's weird.
I'm gonna bring that back. Remember when I said there was the game seemed like it was unfinished with cut content?
Yeah.
I think there are some master classes that were left out of this game.
I think so too.
Because let's think about it real quick. So first of all, I'm gonna critique the master classes real quick. You don't unlock them until you hit, I believe, C, professor level.
Yeah.
Which means you don't see them from the beginning of the game. Which means if, oh shit, this master class is great, I'm gonna steer this unit toward it. I haven't raised horse riding the entire game. Crap.
That's the critique I made to you a week into me playing this game.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, you let me see. What I like about some RPGs is if you're gonna let me see where my path can go, let me see all of it.
Yeah.
Let me prepare.
I'm fine if there's a secret 1 or 2 skills that you can't see, whatever, that's fine.
Let me prepare the whole game.
Yeah.
Because by the time I've gotten to this point, now I'm annoyed.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and some of the master classes, while I think some of them are pretty cool, some of them don't really make a whole lot of sense.
They don't.
Why? So some of the master classes seem like direct upgrades to some of the advanced classes, and some of them side grades, whatever. But so there's a Wyvern Lord master class, which, that's a pretty obvious upgrade from Wyvern Rider advanced class. So where is the upgrade for other classes?
Exactly.
Why don't they have that?
Why don't they have them? I said that right off the bat.
Yeah, so why can't my Swordmaster get in a master class?
Yeah, why can't yeah, exactly. And like, wait a minute, why isn't... Like, what was that class where you have like magic and swords?
Mortal Savant.
Yeah, it's like when I looked at like male magic classes, why didn't they have one?
Yeah,
they don't have one.
That's another thing. You know what? I didn't bring this up in the Fates episode. I should have.
Yeah.
I thought what Fates did really well is they got rid of gender locked classes.
Yes,
and they brought them back in this game.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah,
I don't dislike gender lock classes. They just never do it right.
That's probably true.
You know what it is? It's kind of cool. Okay, I'm not saying gender discrimination is good. It's kind of neat where if you have a female character, they can be certain things, and men can be certain things, but you have to give the genders equivalence.
Yeah.
Or by that I mean, I believe in Three Houses there is not a male magic dual class.
Correct.
There isn't one.
And there's no female brawler class either.
Exactly. Like, why?
Yeah. If I want to make Bernadetta a brawler, you better fucking believe I'm going to do it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
Me neither. I thought that was
especially
odd.
when like you let them get all the way there and you can't give them the master.
Right. Exactly.
I don't like that at all.
So that's part of why I said I think some of this game came out unfinished. I think they may have been planning more master classes, but they just didn't make it into the
it's either you call it unfinished or you say, hey man, at some point we got to cut bait and put the game out.
I think that's what they did.
Like, we can't balance this. We just got to cut it.
This game was delayed, I mean, year and a half or so, depending on when they were originally releasing it in 2018.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was delayed a long time, and I think it suffered.
I do too. Like I said, though, even though we're kind of dumping on the class portion of this game, you do get your classic Fire Emblem when you're playing the maps, when you're actually doing, your combat sequences.
Yep.
You scratch that itch. Just so people know, if you haven't played it, it plays like Persona 5, where you're on a calendar system.
Yep.
At the end of the month, you have a combat portion.
Yep.
Kind of like in Persona 5, at some point in the month, you have a combat portion.
Right.
That's how it works.
Right.
I don't love that overall as a direction for the franchise, but it worked.
It worked for this game.
It works.
Yeah.
Something I don't love on normal difficulty, you can grind as much as you want.
Correct.
With side missions, on hard you can't. I didn't play it on hard, so I'm very curious what it would play like if I played it like that.
I played it on hard.
Yeah.
Just my last couple playthroughs were on hard mode.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it made too much of a difference. I didn't really do any of the side battles, and I was still plenty leveled for the game. It wasn't all that difficult. Granted, I'm a veteran
of the
game and the
franchise,
so it wasn't all that hard for me.
Yeah, I think this game is interesting where I feel like it's really a tale of two things where I do not like the direction of this game. It works, but there's something about the game that feels like they should not have done it this way. Where like I was like, I forgot that, wait a minute. Oh yeah, Fire Emblem was this game where you went map to map and it was all on a grid and all the EXP and stuff was really hard earned. You really had to try. But this game, everything is kind of done for you. And it's hard for me to articulate this. It worked in this game. And I like the game. But I you know what it is? We said this earlier. I like this game more than I should have, I think. Or maybe more than I expected to.
You know what it is, though?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this game was very charming.
It was.
The characters were well done. Like I said, not my favorites in the series, but the characters, we got past the one notes of Fates and Awakening. They were well done. They were well rounded. A lot of the characters had some great interactions. And there was no marriage system in the game.
God.
No child units. You couldn't fuck your students.
Yes, Nick, you were so worried about that. I was too. Please don't let me.
So you can't fuck your students, but you can groom them to fuck them later.
Oh,
I don't know if that's better.
Is that... Can I tell you something? Those are both bad.
They're both bad.
But it's better than what it could have been.
It absolutely is.
Way better than what it could have been.
Oh, God.
I was going to bring up this. I do see on the internet that, yes, there are 4 paths, but the Delgard Path is just better than the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. Oops.
Yeah, we are going to spoil this game.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I agree.
Yep.
Where I happen to do the Delgard Path where I make major choices. I happen to stumble on that. And I gotta say, I really like this game. If I didn't encounter those things, I might have told you this game was very blah.
The last path I did was the secondary Delgard Path. I thought it was interesting because there's a little bit of story of what happens here in the, it's called the Church route. So you side with the Church of Saros instead of siding with Delgard. Delgard and Hubert are no longer playable in your army if you do this path, which is very interesting. I didn't think the church route was all that good compared. It was still fine, but it wasn't as good as the other routes.
And Delgard is fucking nasty. So
why would you miss Delgard? So like, if that had been my first route, I would have probably not had the same opinion of the game. Like we did different routes. I did the Golden Deer. You did the Black Eagles. I really liked the Golden Deer. I really like Claude as a character. So I thought that was really well done. I will say, the Golden Deer route is a little longer than the other ones, and I did get a little burnt out of the teaching thing by the end of the Golden Deer. A little bit. There's like 4 or 5 more chapters.
Okay, it's a little longer. With Black Eagles, you played all 4, so you know this.
Yes.
But, dude, if I didn't get to the point where it said, this is a major choice, be careful, I would have been like, Nick, I don't know if I like this.
I remember you texted me, he was like, yo, Nick, what did you decide? I'm like, what?
I didn't get that at all.
I didn't do that.
That's what makes me... It kind of goes back to your point of I think they cut content out of this game because it's so uneven. Why does Delgard's adventure become the most important?
It's very interesting.
You know what's interesting about this? You know how the original trailer had you talking to Delgard? I almost feel like Delgard was the main character and then wasn't.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, though? As far as characters go, I might like Delgard the least. I didn't think I would. You know who my favorite lord in this game is?
Who?
It's Dimitri.
Interesting.
I played the Blue... highly recommend you play the Blue Lions at some point. Oh my God. This dude's seen some shit.
Seen some shit.
And you know, he always ranks #1 in fan character polls. Who's your favorite character? Dimitri.
Well, Delgard's a bitch. I just think her campaign's better.
That's true. That's true. Her campaign was pretty cool. I'll give that.
Cool.
I'll give her that. She's cool.
But, can I tell you something that I actually don't like about this game?
Yes.
We've talked, we've done a lot of back and forth on why we like it and don't like it. Why does this is going to be a little bit spoiler heavy. What was the name of the is it the Death Knight? Is that his name?
Yes.
How come in Delgard's adventure they tell you the Death Knight is actually an ally and then he never comes back again?
Okay. This is going back to my point. The game is unfinished.
It's unfinished.
They recently released an update where the Death Knight is now playable in the Black Eagles route.
What?
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Just straight up?
They bring him back. They say, oh, hey, here's the Death Knight. You can use him now.
Yeah, it's not finished.
It wasn't finished.
That really, really reiterates your point of how it's not done.
The game was not done. They didn't even have a higher level difficulty when the game first came out. It was just normal and hard. When every single game has had like a lunatic.
You know what's interesting about that? I don't hate them for releasing lunatic later.
Sure.
Because I think in a game with that many characters and that many options, it may have been harder to balance than initially. Then again, maybe I'll double back on that. Hey, dude, there aren't that many chapters. Just do it.
Yeah, I know.
But
right?
anyway,
Yeah.
that Death Knight thing is really the one thing that jumped out when I played it.
Yeah, right,
Not
totally.
now.
It was
When
kind
I
of
when I
weird.
played it, it jumped out to me as they didn't do this.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Oh, he's an ally. That's cool. And he just is never mentioned again.
Yep, he never
is
mentioned
really
again. I thought that was a big
strange.
flaw in the game because
Yes.
I thought he was like the most pivotal point. Oh shit, what do you mean he's an ally? Who is this?
Yeah.
And they don't give you anything.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out who it was?
I
won't spoil on the podcast.
Yeah,
but
I did. But
Okay.
I was just, what I didn't like about it was, dude, you're saying it's so important. Where is it?
Yeah, it was very,
Weird.
very
It was
odd
weird.
design choice. One thing that I didn't like about this game was I liked it, but I didn't like how they did it for the Lord characters.
Okay.
So I like how every character had a hidden talent.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
I like
pretty
that
cool.
too.
They could be bad at something, but they have a hidden talent in it. They'll then be good at it if they learn enough and
Yeah.
they'll get a new skill. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very strange that the Lord characters had these special talents, but their unique classes didn't use them.
You're right.
I thought that would have been a very
and
interesting
their unique
aspect.
classes are bad. Like, especially with Edelgard.
Edelgard's unique class. I used it in my Black Eagles hard mode. It sucks,
Dude.
Her class is terrible.
You should just be a Dragon Knight. You're awesome.
It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Well, the Dragon Knight looks cool. Her unique class is pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
But it's armored. It's not that good.
It's not that good.
Claude's unique class is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you ride a dragon. It's pretty sweet. You
Yeah,
can't get
just
much
be
better
a
than that.
Dragon Rider. You're better.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can say for most of the characters.
Balancing
in this game.
issues.
Yeah, there are some balance issues in this game.
For sure.
Yeah. But like I said, Edelgard, it would have been so cool because Edelgard's hidden talent is in magic, in reason.
Oh, wow.
It would have been really cool if her emperor or whatever class could also use spells.
But you can't.
You can't. I thought that would have been a
It's an
pretty
oversight,
cool thing.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not well done.
Yeah, I thought that would have been neat. But
Yeah,
oh well,
I'm
I
with you.
guess. So I want to talk about combat arts and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
sure.
So they came back from Echoes. I think they did them pretty well in this game.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. So they're in things like Night Kneeler and Tempest
It's like
Lance.
skills that use up a lot of your durability, but
Yeah.
either do more damage or have a special effect. They're
Right.
cool.
Yeah. Sometimes they're kind of worthless because you'd probably rather attack somebody twice instead of using a move once. But using them on, say, a big boss or a big monster, which I want to get into next, is pretty cool. So I think the monster combat's awesome.
I do too.
It was really, really cool.
I actually really liked, I'm going to go on that for a second. I really liked in an early battle with the Death Knight, I actually used a combination of battalions and combat arts to do it.
Yes.
And like, I was like, oh, okay, this game thought this out where
Yeah.
at this point in the game, I'm going to need to do some special strategy here to actually do this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I really like the monster combat. They have the shields. You can surround them with your guys. They took that from Radiant Dawn. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah. They took that from there. I'm glad they brought it back. That
Yep.
was really cool. Destroying all the shields gives you items, which I think is super cool as well.
Yep.
And you mentioned it too, which we have to get into the brand new thing they introduced in this game: the charm stat and battalions.
Yes.
Those were, I think they're really cool,
I
and
do
I'm
too.
really glad they introduced them.
Yeah, I do too. So they you can choose to have like a battalion attack,
Yeah.
right?
Or support thing.
or support,
Yeah.
and that's pretty neat. And your charm stat is what makes them better.
Yeah, your charm stat increases their hit percent and damage, and it also decreases the hit percent and damage when
And
it
it's
comes
not
against you.
counterable, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I also like how enemies also have them.
Enemies also have
Yes.
them. I like that too.
And you know what it does too? Thematically, it kind of makes the games make more sense. Because if you think about it, in past games, so is my army really just 15 teenagers going after this massive force?
Or this massive force of 28 adults.
Right, yeah, exactly. But in this game, we have a little battalion with you. It's like, okay, there's people fighting on the side.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of guys fighting alongside me. It
Yeah.
makes a little more sense.
Yeah, it gives
it's
it a-
cool.
it makes the-
Thematically, it fits better.
And I think that's a great aspect, although they probably could have customized it a little bit for when, okay, we're the only ones here in this cave. I'm going to bring all these battalions with me, and there's going to be hundreds of people fighting alongside. We're the
Doesn't make
only
any
people in the
sense.
cave. Doesn't
Or
make sense,
they should
but-
have had chapters where battalions are not admissible.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool, actually.
Yep.
Cannot use a battalion in this map.
That'd be
cool. So another aspect of battalions that I really like is they're not all for attack.
Yep.
Some of them can be supportive. Like, I love Stride.
Yep.
Stride makes all your characters move like 8 spaces or something crazy
Yep.
like that. That was awesome. The healing ones.
Yep, that was cool too.
They can hit multiple targets, which I think is pretty sweet.
Yep.
There's really not a lot of... That's something Fire Emblem doesn't have, multiple target attacks, where 3 houses really had them. As in your units can use multiple attacks that hit multiple targets.
Yeah, exactly. And what's I think it's cool about battalions and also what you're talking about, it expanded the different skills you have in Fire Emblem. Leadership is a skill that affects battalions, which I think is neat.
There hasn't been a new skill in There hasn't been a new stat. In
a new weapon stat. And leadership is a weapon stat. Heavy armor is a weapon stat. Riding is a
flying.
That's, you know what, can I say this?
Yeah,
I like that.
Me too.
I actually really liked how riding and flying are skills.
Same.
Yeah. I really did. Here's the thing. I'll make fun of this game. It didn't really work where like there are certain characters who are obviously horseback riders or flyers, but you having a riding skill that makes you better at riding and eventually gives you bonuses is cool. Yeah. And it was good. It was a good idea.
I agree. They almost made Armor Knights useful.
Almost. It's just not.
Their skills are good, but then you take them and just reclass them.
Yeah, but exactly. 100%.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to bring up too. I don't know why this game, it tells you basically how they calculate every stat except for attack speed. I don't know why they don't tell you this.
I don't know.
Where the weight thing, it's actually I can't remember the formula at the moment, but it's actually kind of complicated.
Yeah.
To figure out weight. I don't know why they kept that hidden when they explained everything else. It's very strange.
Or maybe they didn't. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not that simple, and it's character by character.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's not.
God,
I don't know. We'd have to ask.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, typically Fire Emblem is it's very easy for you to figure out the math on your own. In this game, it wasn't.
It was not
It's a little bit rough.
Yeah, but because of that, I want to bring up that equipable items have come back.
Yes,
aside
shields.
from weapons, they had this in Path of Radiance.
Yes,
but they hadn't really been in the game since. So you can equip shields, you can equip magic staffs to increase like your spell range and stuff like that. They give you bonuses. I thought that was pretty sweet.
I do too. I really like that where certain staff gives you more range.
Yeah, it's like, do I use the magic +2 range staff or do I use speed +2?
Or like, do I weigh down a mage with a shield?
Yeah, exactly.
I really like that too.
The March Ring is probably one of the best things in the game.
What was that stat specifically?
+1 movement.
Yes. You could move an extra square.
Yeah.
That was super neat.
You could use it, move 8 squares, take it off, and put it on a different ring and just do something
I used that as well. That was really neat. I really like that.
Another aspect too is the maps. I don't think the maps are incredibly interesting, but they have some interesting terrain on them where you kind of have to dismount your horsemen sometimes to get around stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We haven't brought that up yet. Dismounting was a thing in the older Fire Emblem games.
Pre-United States release.
Yeah, and they brought it back for 3 houses. I'm like, oh, why is this here? Oh, okay. People on horses can't go upstairs easily. They can't traverse. This kind of makes sense.
Yep.
So you can dismount and then get back on the horse later on. I thought that was an interesting aspect of the game.
Yeah, I agree. Dismounting is an interesting aspect. I'm surprised made a comeback.
Right.
It's
totally
pretty cool.
Yeah. The other thing about combat before we kind of move on to other stuff here, I both love and hate the Crest system.
I do too.
So back way back when, Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War, they had characters had blood of all the 12 heroes or whatever. They kind of brought that back in this game with crests.
Yes.
Where using different crests, if a character is a noble, they have a crest.
Yes.
And they have a certain chance of unleashing, something. Whatever crest art. But it also allows them to wield the legendary weapons.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. They so if you have a crest, you can use one without really any penalty. If you don't have a crest, you take 10 damage every time you swing it.
Yes.
Which is thematically makes a lot of sense because you have that scene with Miklon.
I agree.
Yes. Oh, I want to talk about Miklon for a second.
Yeah, sure.
So when you play the Blue Lions route, Miklon is Sylvain's brother.
Yeah.
So mini early game spoiler here, you have to defeat Sylvain's brother. Yeah. Sylvain's brother does not have the crest, and he stole the Lance of Ruin. You have to beat him. In every other route, you have to give the lance back to Rhea. Mm-hmm. In the Blue Lions, because you have Sylvain, or I guess in any route where you recruited Sylvain, he'll say, wait a minute, Professor, I want that. Please give it to me.
Yeah.
And you can get the Lance of Ruin as early as like chapter 5.
Wow.
Which is very interesting.
That's so interesting.
You can choose to give it to Rhea or choose to give it to Sylvain.
I never picked the religious cult.
Me neither.
I never pick it.
That's why it was my last route.
Yeah, in any game.
All right, so let's talk about the recruiting of other students for a quick moment here.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we wish would come back is the recruiting of enemy units.
Yeah, it hasn't been in a game in a while.
Yeah, I guess this game, it didn't make sense for that to happen, so I guess I'm okay with it not being in the game. The recruiting of other students was interesting to an extent. Getting the right skills that they like, they'll join your class.
It worked for me better than you, I think.
Yeah, I think because I was planning on do all the routes, I didn't try to get all of the students on one because I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, after sort of the split where you have to commit to a house and then the other houses become your enemies.
Yeah.
I did recruit a few.
Yes.
So enemy recruitment is kind of it. It's not, but I think this is how it works. I defeated a couple of enemy students, and then instead of like executing them, you can tell them to join you, and they do.
Yeah, I had that happen on Edelgard's route only. I wonder if it's specific.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so I recruited a few, and I thought that was cool.
That is pretty cool.
Where I almost felt bad for killing them, and then said, no, wait, do you want to recruit them instead? And I said yes.
It's like, oh, hell yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that. I thought it was okay. Right. I actually, do you know what feels unfinished about this game?
Yeah.
It feels like there are so many aspects to the game that just were not fleshed out. The student recruitment thing.
Yep.
So you can recruit some students, but really it's for later in the game after you kill them. Right? You can kind of do it at the school.
Yeah.
A little bit, but the wall to recruit them is so high.
I'll get into that a little later.
Yeah,
too.
The wall to recruit them is so high. I stopped trying. And I just whatever, I have my guys. I don't care.
Yeah, plus I think the game did it right where this actually might be the game where you have the least amount of deployment slots in a Fire Emblem game.
Yes, you only have 9 or 10 in each, right?
Yeah, some of the later maps maybe 10 or 11.
You don't have
that.
many.
Right, yeah, exactly. So I think they did it right where they didn't require you to recruit other students. You can get some professors on your team too, and that usually rounded things out pretty well.
Yeah.
Or, you just juggernaut it with a few units and that's usually fine.
The game isn't hard.
Right, yeah, exactly. So I want to jump into visuals, sounds, and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it in the Fates one because I really didn't want to talk about that game all that much.
Yeah.
These games are kind of going into, please correct me if I'm using the wrong word, they kind of go into more of a leitmotif when it comes to music.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so like Fates had Ocean's Grey Waves. This game had Reach for My Hand, all that stuff. Yeah. So I think this game did it better.
Sure.
Because it didn't inundate you with those words.
Sure.
It did remix the tune.
Yeah.
In a lot of map themes. It's been the first one and the last one. It is remixed a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
But they didn't bring back the words and you weren't like crushed by this one song throughout the game.
Right, exactly. I liked actually a cute touch. It started to annoy me later, but I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I liked when you started a new day or you completed a task. It recalled the theme from the original Fire Emblem theme. You know, the
the bells.
The bells. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I like that too.
Yeah. So that's a good point. This game, I think when it hit really well with the small details, it did a good job.
I did too.
Like when you have two characters, you can have them do like missions together or, tend to the horses or whatever. If they don't like each other, they'll complain.
Yeah, they do.
If you ever put Hubert and Ferdinand in the same thing, like, if I must, I'll work with Ferdinand.
Yeah, exactly.
But as they gain support, they start to like each other. They're like, yeah, you know what? We're a good team, aren't we? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really nice.
It was cute.
Yeah.
This game is very cute. Overall.
It's very charming.
It's very cute.
And I think, like I said very early on in the podcast, the stories of Fire Emblem games are never all that awesome.
Yeah.
I think this game's story is pretty good.
It's serviceable.
Yeah, I liked it.
But I agree. I think what it is it's serviceable. I liked it.
Yep.
But it's not the kind of game where I can't believe they sacrifice so much combat for not much gain.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So what I want to talk to about the story and the world building.
Yeah.
I noticed this while I was playing Three Houses that they brought the narrator back. Did you even notice that Fates got rid of the mid-chapter narrator?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So Fates got rid of it, and what happened to the world building in Fates? It was basically non-existent.
Terrible.
They brought it back in this game, and I think it did wonders for saying, oh, this is Fodlan. This is where things are. This is what happens. These are the months of the year. I think, and it being Gerald's voice, I think was a nice touch as well. I think that it's a little cheesy to have a mid-chapter narrator telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
But I do think it helps these games for the world building
It helps
aspect.
the world come together a little bit, where I'm not just lost with all these characters and all these words I don't understand.
Right, exactly. I guess my final thoughts on the writing and the story.
Yeah.
I like the story. I liked all the routes to some extent. Probably the church route is probably my least favorite. And I thought all the characters were very engaging, and I like how with every route, I was worried that, of course, every route had different students in their class, of course, but I thought every class would have carbon copies of the same ones.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's Lawrence in one route.
Who's the horse rider of this group?
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's not always cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like they say the Black Eagles, there's more magic users in the Black Eagles. The Blue Lions, there's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah. I think, are we going to transition into final thoughts?
Yeah, let's talk about final thoughts.
Yeah. I think the overall message I think we're trying to portray with this game is I was worried it was not going to be good.
Correct.
It was a good game. I liked it. I don't want Fire Emblem to become this kind of game.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I agree.
Here's the thing. I like the calendar system. I like teaching. I think it worked.
Yes.
I can't see myself sitting through it again.
Yeah, I found myself in later playthroughs. I'll rest this month. I'll skip it this week. It's fine. One thing I want to talk about before we get into the future of the series is this game did New Game Plus extremely well.
Yes.
So the New Game Plus of this game, you can reload your file. You know, whatever you're back when you get back to the monastery, you can use all the renown you've built up to just buy back things you did in your last playthrough.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is really cool. You can buy back your professor level. You don't have to do shit in the monastery anymore.
Yeah.
Instantly start with 7 or 8 teaching points, whatever it is, which is great. You can also buy back your supports with other characters.
Yep.
So let's say I'm doing the Black Eagles, but I wanted to recruit a character from the Golden Deer.
Recruited
I'll just
that.
download
Yep.
their A support and just go and get them.
Got it.
Because that's another aspect of recruiting. If you have a high support, their requirements go down. So you can really build your character however you want in New Game Plus, which I think is really great.
Yeah, I didn't play through New Game Plus. I only knew about the aspects of why it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're correct. This game, it is a good package of a game. Like I said, I don't feel shortchanged by the cut content.
Yep.
I just don't think I could handle another Fire Emblem game like this. I couldn't stomach it again.
Yeah, you know, when I was researching all of this, I thought of one movie, Major League.
Sure.
So this is why. Remember the first game they all play in Major League? Willie Mays Hayes goes up and he makes some stupid catch underhanded for some reason when he really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And he goes back to the dugout and the manager says all gruff, "Nice catch, never fucking do it again."
Yeah.
That's what I think about this game. Nice game, never fucking do it again. Please don't do this again.
Yeah.
It worked well now. It's not going to work if you do it again.
I agree. I think that's a good place to end it for there. I think you're correct.
We should move on to the future of the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should talk about the future and really our overall thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, like, this franchise, I think, is really special because every game is good.
Yeah.
We said that in episode 1.
Yep.
Every game in this franchise is good. Yes. Even the shitty Birthright one, even the shitty Shadow Dragon one, they're all good.
I agree.
None of these games... It's tough for me to even articulate this.
Yeah.
None of these games are bad.
There can be a bad Fire Emblem game, but they're not bad games.
They're not. And every game, if someone said to me, "Hey, I'm going to play Shadow Dragon," I'd say do it.
Fine, go for it.
Even though I may suggest other games over it in the franchise, they're all good.
I agree.
And if you're going to play the franchise, sure, I'd have my set order that I'd want you to play them in, but you play all of them.
Yeah.
They're all good.
They're all good. They're all pretty unique. You get a unique experience with every game. And I think that's where this series really shines.
Yeah, I do too. There aren't many grid-based games in existence. No. Sure, there's some indie stuff that I don't care about, but there aren't many. You have Final Fantasy Tactics, you have Fire Emblem, you have there was another game on the Game Boy Advance that I can't think of now.
Advance Wars?
Yeah, that's another
made by
one.
Intelligent Systems as well.
Right, same company.
Fun fact, did you know Advance Wars came out before Fire Emblem?
No.
It was actually made in Japan before Fire Emblem, and it came to the US before Fire Emblem.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either until I was doing some research. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say what I really loved about this franchise as a whole was, as a kid, it really kind of groomed me into being okay with games being hard.
Yeah.
You know, like the permadeath thing, I didn't feel defeated as an 11-year-old not being able to beat it. I was so intrigued and impressed when, like, you got to the final chapter.
Yeah.
Like, how did you do it?
Right.
And I think for us, as like, just to reiterate here, Nick and I are brothers.
Yes.
So we played this franchise together for, how old are we?
I'm 28.
Yes, 14 years or so.
Longer, 2003 till now.
A
long time.
15 years, something like that.
Something
16
like
years.
that, yeah.
So I think what's really important to know is that we were excited for every release of this game.
Yeah.
Because there aren't many games like it.
Right.
I think the permadeath feature is vital to this game.
too.
It's hugely unique.
Yep.
And I think it really started my interest in turn-based strategy games.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hope permadeath comes back. Like, we didn't mention it, but Three Houses did bring back Milla's Turnwheel in Divine Pulse.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. I'm hoping that's where the series goes and gets rid of casual mode.
I agree.
Because I think it's just a better way of doing casual mode.
I agree. Because what would be there's no difference.
Why would you play casual mode now? There's really no difference.
It makes it like I would say mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you want to see from the next entry or next whatever mainline entry in the series?
What do I want to see?
Yeah.
It's so weird for me to say this because I liked Three Houses. I don't want to see that again.
I don't want to see it either. It's great as a standalone game, leave it as is. I loved it.
Can I tell you
love Three
something?
Houses.
I don't want to see a branching game again.
Right.
Because, can I tell you this?
Yeah.
By can, I mean I'm going to.
Right.
every Fire Emblem game where it lets you branch, I like less.
Interesting.
Ready?
Yep.
I don't like Birthright and Conquest that much.
Right.
I like Three Houses,
Yeah.
but I don't have a huge urge to play all 4.
Right.
I like Sacred Stones. I don't have a big urge to play through the different campaigns.
Sure.
I liked 7 and I liked Path of Radiance.
Yep.
And I liked Radiant Dawn because this is the game. We fully fleshed it out. It's one game.
Yeah,
And
totally.
go do it.
Totally.
You know what happens? This is with every game though.
Yeah.
Resident Evil's the same problem. When you have a bunch of campaigns and not one, it tends to be a truncated, shorter, and crappier game.
Yeah.
And I'm not calling Three Houses or Birthright a crappy game, even though Birthright is a crappy game. It's not. They're all good. But
true. Yes.
I would like to see a single Fire Emblem experience.
Yep.
And I don't want to see a calendar system again. I want to see you know what I'd love to see?
Yeah.
A chapter by chapter tile-based game that's next gen.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
And I want to see where they go with these Echoes.
I do too. I would love to see more remakes.
You know what? This is what I really want to see.
Yeah.
I would love a Fire Emblem 6 remake.
Yeah, with Marth. Roy, I'm sorry.
Roy.
Yeah.
Because I think, okay, this is getting a little crazy here.
Yeah.
But with a remake like that, we could get into a 7 and 6 remake duology.
That's true.
Where we could get, because 7's the prequel.
You could get both.
Yeah. And they could go a little bit deeper. I know they'll do this. If they do it, I don't know if I like it. They will definitely have marriage in 7, and then those kids will show up in the...
And they'll fuck it up.
They'll probably fuck it up.
But I mean, I think you're right. I think what I would love to see is even before 6.
Yeah.
I want to see 5, and the one with the big maps.
Oh, 4.
4 with the huge maps.
I want to see that too, but I think 6 makes the most sense.
It does.
But I would love to see Fire Emblem 4 and 5 here.
Yeah, I think those games, those are games very deserving of remakes because they're hard to stomach.
Yep.
Because they're brutal, they're slow.
Yep.
And Nick and I played fan translations of these.
Yeah. They're also very good.
They're good.
Yeah.
This whole series is good, and that's really, I think, the main point I want people to take away from this.
Yeah.
And I think what's fascinating is recently, by the recent I mean like 2012.
Yeah.
This series was done. Like,
Yeah.
it really almost went away. And then Awakening, Nick likes it more than I do.
Right.
But it really, I'm so thankful for that game because the franchise was done.
Yeah.
If it didn't sell well, that was it.
That was it.
And what I think is, shame on everybody. Shame on like the whole world for none of you playing this.
Yeah.
Because it's a really good franchise. And I can think of no other franchises or maybe 1 or 2 where every game is good.
Like, I've legitimately liked every entry in the series.
Even the ones I don't like.
Yeah. I can't say that. To bounce off of that, if you have a Switch, go and buy 3 Houses. It's a fantastic game.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is a hot take. I think it's the best Fire Emblem in the past 10 years or so.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
2009 to now.
Yeah, because
you're
check it out.
Right.
We got Echoes. It's better than Echoes.
Yeah.
The Fate series.
It's definitely better than Fates. It's better than Awakening.
Then you get all the way down. Is it better than Radiant Dawn? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So this is the best Fire Emblem game to come out in a decade.
It's a good time to jump in if you never played it.
The series is at its high point right now.
I agree.
Jump in.
I think overall, this franchise has always been good.
Yes.
This has been a very enjoyable discussion of Fire Emblem.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. And as opposed to Kingdom Hearts, this conversation made me very happy. And you know what this conversation did?
Yeah.
It made me want to play them.
Yeah, I got really nostalgic when I was looking over things to talk about here. When I was looking up, I was getting the soundtracks going, and I'm like, oh man, legally Nintendo, don't come after me.
Yeah, legally.
Like the Fire Emblem 7 soundtrack, some songs I haven't heard in, I don't know, 10 years or since I replayed the game or something. This series just makes me feel good.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a really good way to end this.
Yeah.
This series makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, as we like to say on this show, can we all get over the goddamn GameCube, please?